And let's see. Shazam, everybody. This is a little bit different for us here at All Bricks Count. A live review, done a few. Most of my reviews have been canned videos where I pre-produce everything. And, well, we did that. And we did it not once, but twice. And there's definitely a build-up to this story. So, going back to last fall, last Christmas, December-ish. Hey, JB. Good to see you, buddy. So we were building out this 3,800 plus piece set, right? And, you know, we're enjoying the build, building out the platform first. And I'll show you some stock photos and stuff, but you're going to see some other camera views of the set. Building out the big chessboard, you know, and we get about 6 episodes in. We're live streaming, you know, hour or two, whatever it is per episode. It's a big set. And we get to the 6th stream, and I'm getting, you know, to the end of the bags there or whatever, and I'm having problems. So I'm going through the manual. And, geez, now that I'm thinking about it, where is that manual? Getting through it, and I'm having problems. Huge problems. The problems being I'm missing parts. So, how could this be? Well, yeah, why is that not so easy to find right now? That's funny. I can't find the manual right now. Yeah, I will need to find that shortly. Actually, we probably won't find it during this stream. Not that it matters. Beautiful book. But yeah, we're sitting there, and you guys who are watching me build live, and you're in the discussions and chats, and one or two you might even been on screen with me. I can't remember, but missing a few parts, 1 or 2 parts, and I'm going further, and it's like, all right, I'm missing a lot. And I had to basically stop the stream after about 5 minutes of checking the steps. And so I kill the stream. I go offline. Takes me about an hour or two. I open up what I had for the next bunch of bags. And it turns out I'm missing about, 150 to 200 here, 150 to 200 there. Well, in the end, I'm missing over 400 pieces, which is kind of ridiculous, right? For any manufacturer, if it was Lego, the original big company, you might expect 1 or 2 parts, and you contact manufacturer and whatever, but you don't expect to be missing, a 400 out of 3,800. You don't expect to be missing 10% or 15 or 20% of the build. And when you go back to how I originally received this set for review, so I'll pull this out because this is where parts of this is going to be funny. Cool. All right. So this retail box, and I only ask for retail product if you're going to send me anything for a review. And this was negotiated ahead of time. And clearly they sent me a retail box, but that's not how it showed up. That box fit into this box. And as you can see, I'm not counting this fold here. what they had done was, by the way, DHL ship. And of course, I just ended up putting loose garbage in there from the build. But they ended up folding this, and I had retaped it. But this box, as you can see here in the light, you're going to see all the various folds and wrinkles. There you go, right there. You can see there. This box was folded like a dozen ways to make it fit into that brown shipping box. In North America, US and Canada, we don't generally expect a retail product to get open, mangled, and repackaged down into something smaller for cube weight. If you order a lot from AliExpress, or these days even Temu, Temu, whatever they call it, Alibaba, you might, but usually it's always in the description of the product, and as long as you're expecting it and you know it's coming that way, it's great. For a review product, that left a sour taste in my mouth to begin with. To have it arrive with the box manual. Because look at this beautiful box art. I mean, we got gloss. Parts of the box are gloss. Photography is beautiful. Some custom art. I mean, they go to a lot of effort to make a nice retail box. And as the title above me says, the set here, Juhang, international chess set. Number 671, Confrontation in the Universe. Okay, so they can't call it Star Wars. While it has more than a passing likeness to Star Wars, it's very clearly lifting Star Wars themed ships. And I'll show you each one in a moment. But as a future customer, because they do have plenty of sets I'm interested in. And this was my first experience. They send me, my contact with this company sent me a handful of products. This one and another one. And the other one I had a great experience with, by the way. So much so that not only did I review it, but then I actually had extra streams and built some random stuff, mocked some stuff with their products. So had a good experience with the other product. It was well packaged. Everything was great. But whether this is their business practice or whomever they contacted to send me the set on their behalf, this wasn't a one-off problem. The other English-speaking reviewers, I can't recall their name, and I don't necessarily want to throw them any views, but they had the same experience with a box that's mangled. And, here's the thing. So they sit there, they open the box, right? They take the manual out, they take all the bags out, pluck them on the floor, fold this thing up 4, 10, 12 ways, shove it all in a box, and ship it, The DHL box, when it arrived, was in pretty good condition. It was taped fine. It didn't look like it was abused or open, but it was max packed. And there was no way, honestly, there was no way that the missing bags were even going to fit in that. Like it was something else. So, that really leaves a really poor experience, not just as a reviewer who, by the way, this was free to me. Just like in my show notes on this show and all the 9 previous streams, didn't pay for this. This was sent to me free for review. And, I'm very appreciative of it. They had seen my previous content, especially considering I give a lot of non-Lego product a very fair chance, because I think there's, as my namesake says, all bricks count. I believe there's a lot of value to the larger community or the larger universe of brick set companies. I collect Lego, I collect Mega, I collect Kobe, I collect McFarlane Toys, Forever Clever. Sorry. You know, Oxford, Slew Band, Sembo Block, hey, even Mold King. You go back a bit, and I even dabbled with Lepin and Lili, and a lot of the more nefarious companies. I am perfectly willing to try stuff. I don't necessarily like copycat products. It happens. A lot of companies that get their start that way become far more legitimate later. But I digress, and I don't want to go down that hole. I wanted a really good experience with this product, and I want you guys to have a really good experience with this product, because this is something you can buy. I got discount codes and links in my show notes here and on all those past live streams for this product, discounts and all this stuff, and where you can get it. Hopefully they're all still up to date and valid, but what can I do? I haven't had any contact since with the company. So we get episode 6, we're having problems. We cut the stream short, and that was pretty huge for me. I put already, let's say it was 6 times 2 or 6 times 3 hours, whatever it was. It was a lot of time. A lot of hours went into it. And now I'm stuck, and I'm sitting here with egg on my face. But I still want to finish this product because, I had a chessboard, and I had, I want to say 60% of the pieces for the chessboard done. I wanted to finish, so I reach out to my contact, very apologetic. Within 24, 48 hours, they got back to me, asked me for specifics. I told them what I needed. And 3-4 weeks later, they eventually got me my missing bags. Now, what was interesting was the bags were rebranded, and clearly from a more up-to-date release of the set. Neither here nor there. It's what I needed to finish, and that's great. And the quality of the parts were the same. Did 3 more streams, finished. Now, keep in mind that in the 3 or 4 weeks in between episode 6 and 7, I had started my own collection of builds and stuff that I paid for, and it's like it was time to get on with life. Like waiting forever for these parts to come in was not going to help me any. So it's like, no, let's get back to do what I do. And we did that, and it was good for the channel to do so. But when these parts did come in, it's like, great. So now I got to put my life on hold again, finish the build, another 3 streams. And then it's like, okay, well, let's start producing a video, which wasn't terribly hard. I had, 9 streams of stock footage. I had saved the footage on the hard drives. And of course, around that time, I was switching computers and stuff. So I moved hard drives in and out, and, stuff off the laptop to some externals, into an external RAID, great, blah, blah, blah. And I get around to uploading it, and I put a 24, I'd done it all in 4K. Because some of my cameras, I can jump up to 4K. And so I upload it as 4K to YouTube. And I used what was supposed to be copyright-free audio. And, it got flagged. And they only listed specific segments. So, because I had a bunch of stuff. I had a generic soundtrack. I had some Star Wars sounding theme stuff. I had a lot of sounds like pew pew and all this stuff. So I integrated, because I basically spent a lot of time on this. And so it got flagged. And I figured with the time delay that I had put into before it would premiere, that'd be enough so everyone would see the high-end version, not just an SD version, not just an HD. They'd see whatever the top version was at the time. But, bang, got flagged. Okay, so let's re-upload it. Let's edit out some audio. that gets flagged. It still didn't like some stuff. Okay. So we go through this wash repeat cycle. And what became a 3-day edit, shoot the video, edit, chop up my old video segments became a 2-ish week thing spread out over a period of time. And I'm getting a little frustrated, but because it's like, at this point, I have no background audio that I can use. And of course, it killed all my spoken audio because it's all merged together. I don't have a fancy mixer for this stuff, and I don't have separate tracks that made it neat. So it's like, okay, this is just not working. So let's take my footage and let's just kill the audio and let's re-edit it. And I'll just do one voiceover over the whole thing, no background track, nothing. Okay. And sure enough, I have some hardware technical issues, and I'm trying to figure out what's wrong. Basically, not one, but 2 drives died. SSD drives, which I wasn't really expecting. Everything dies. Everything dies. So, whether it's your laptop or you got a desktop computer with SSDs or spinning platters, whatever you got, it's all going to die someday. And it's not like I didn't back stuff up. Well, the problem is that RAID unit, the Synology unit, that was my backup. So that went poof. It's like, great. All my work is here. All my high-end pre-records are there. It's not like I couldn't re-download whatever YouTube already had for those 9 streams. Absolutely could. Here's the problem with that. It's not going to be the best looking footage, and you're basically a copy of a copy re-upload, and like it's just not going to look great. So I contact a data retrieval service with very high ratings, and I send off my 2 drives. And they promise that, if we can't recover, we charge you nothing. Well, let's see. That was January. This is March, right? March 18th today that I'm filming this. And I get my drives back. And they basically say, we're sorry. They gave me a link to what I could download. But they said this is not what I had told them to look for on the drive. It's like, great. So I don't have my backups. All my good work is lost. All they really have is what's up on YouTube. And at this point, I'm frustrated because my original experience with this product that I had very high hopes for, it arrives in not great condition, missing 10-20% of the parts halfway through the build, 70% through the build. I really wanted to wash my hands of this product, this company, everything. Which is a shame because when things were good, I liked it, and there's a lot to like about this set. I wanted you to hear the reason why it's taken 3-ish months to get this review up, why it's now live and not a 12-minute canned video. I've already spent 15-18 minutes whining. But now you know. They send me a beat-up box, missing bags. Missing bags. Not missing a few pieces, missing bags. Not all of each section of the future bags either that I needed to continue that build. Like one bag here, one bag here, one bag there, to a total of over 400 pieces. And I am so poorly prepared for this that, I don't actually see where that manual went. I'm not sure why, but right now I'm just not seeing it. And I'm sorry about that. But it was a very well produced manual, high quality. Actually, I thought I kept it in that box. And you would think with me ripping apart my studio, I would have seen it. But right now I'm at a loss for words. Oh, nope, here we go. So, and I'll keep it on the one camera for now. Oh, look at this. Game rules. Chess is played against 2 players, one with white and the other with black. The game is played by the player with white first, and each time a step is taken, both sides take turns playing chess until the game is over. Clearly, this is not really the rules of chess here, but I mean, the manual was well laid out. I mean, it's as good as any Lego manual. The first impressions of the manual were really good. Now, they did, of course, show, a list of parts and stuff, but the thing is that you're not opening up all the bags, so you really can't pre-count and check it against that list. And I really didn't want to do it with 3,800 plus. It didn't occur to me that, the way they mangled the box and the way they shipped it, maybe I should have taken that time, and then I wouldn't have had that issue. But then that would have been 2 or 3 hours of sorting, and that would have been bad. But I mean, just look at this. When we hit bag 5, I was missing 149 pieces. And like I said, they were very apologetic, but I was this is the first time I've ever done this. I was circling stuff in the manual, not there, not there, not there, not there, not there. It's like, it was just ridiculous. 400 pieces. Bag 7 was missing 119 pieces. But it was a lot. If anyone is going to, bag 6 was missing, I got a note here, and that was missing 149. So how interesting is that I'm missing the same amount? Let's say plus or minus 1. Let's pretend my math was off by a bit. With a normal percentage error, 1 or 2 pieces per bag, you're still talking, 150-ish average across 3 bags, from each of 3 bag sets, and you're still talking over 400 pieces no matter what. Which anyone would have pitched this against the wall, but oh god, it's heavy. Too many manuals. I build a lot, guys. Imagine that. But a very professional manual. The manual definitely was definitely one of the better parts of the experience because it was really well done. The game board that you make here. Let's see if I can show you. Yeah, we got lots of views here. So this thing's huge. It is huge. And I want to say it's 53 by 53 centimeters. Hang on a sec. I have here. There you go. 53 by 53 centimeters. Pretty big. I think at one point I quoted 68 studs by 68 studs when I was building this. And it's roughly 3 plates, 3 bricks high. Let's see. This is not a horrible measuring tool.
Angela Martin.
Oh my goodness. Hang on, everyone. I'm so sorry about this. Sorry about that, folks. By the way, I just wanted to catch up. Hello, Eileen, Brick Maniac, Ryan, Greg, everyone else who's watching. Appreciate it, as always. Standing on the table, it is 3 bricks and about 1 plate tall, with a nice tapered edge. I'll have to displace all the pieces later and show you what it looks like on the bottom, but it is quite beautiful. Big display piece once it's built. If you're a Star Wars fan, this is a no-brainer. Is there anything else I wanted to show you here? Yeah, there's your top-down view, which is pretty much, I'm not going to show you my camera, but this is literally a photo. And this is stock photography. Some fun stuff going on there. And we'll remove this from there. Okay. And so, yeah, this thing is big. It is really big. I'm still at a loss. I have some ideas on what to do with this afterwards. You could conceivably put magnets inside. I still have not. They don't sell magnets to do this, but if you're going to insert magnets into the game board, you're going to have to figure out how to reasonably put them into the pieces. And that's not going to be too easy because you're going to have to build up the base even more. You're going to have to modify every piece to accommodate a magnet. It's doable, but it's going to require more work, and you're going to make the pieces even bigger than they are now. You have everything you need to play a game of chess here, as long as you can actually internally rememberize, haha, I'm making up words. Remember, what's a pawn in your game, what's a castle, a knight, a bishop, king, queen. According to one of the websites you can buy it from, the Millennium Falcon's the queen. And I thought, well, okay, it seems kind of weird. Wouldn't you make that the king for the rebel forces? Apparently not. But it's a great display piece for what it is. When I built the game board, the platform here, I mean, everyone loved it just because it's such a big, massive, epic scale kind of thing. It's bigger than any Lego chess set that's been on the market. But it was a thumb masher. And there's definitely going to be issues if I ever want to take it apart. For one thing, the 2x4 tiles, they don't have a nice tapered edge. So you're not going to get a brick separator in there nicely. Now, some of the 2x2s do. And see, I was able to just use my nail, and there's a slight tapered edge, and they come off nicely. But you don't have that on the 2x4s. That is going to be a nightmare to ever disassemble. I don't know if you ever would. I'm not sure if I'm going to ever disassemble it. I may not. I might just plastic wrap it and put bumper on it and put it away in storage, because I still don't know how I'm going to display it. And as much as I like chess, I'm not playing on this. It's just too big. And that's something to consider if you're ever going to be in the market to buy or build it. If you want an incredible epic build, this still wins. This is still a win. But this was a thumb masher. I definitely had a lot of aches and pains. The instructions were not hard to follow. I used a few extra parts to fill in some of the greebling holes that I felt like, oh, there was 3 points. Like, why would you not fill the studs and leave them? They left them exposed and maybe for the effect. But I thought, well, you have the extra parts anyway. I put them in, and it doesn't make it look worse. And I figured, why not use what's there? So that was interesting. They have in odd positions little supports under the top, but they're not evenly spaced. So as you're pushing down, and because you're basically you're building the bottom, you build the top, you press them together, and you hope for the best. Well, it's really, really hard to do that. Just because of the weird spacing. Let's see, I could show here. Yeah. So you'll see here, and actually that's probably a better view. You can see the spacing of the supports. They're not even by any means. And so, like, I wouldn't have cared what size. They could have done 2x2 pillars, spread them out, make it even, support everywhere. But when you later build out you already have it built actually, but when you take the top and you place it down, it's a nightmare of getting it all aligned properly. I honestly don't understand why they build it that way, as opposed to, you could build the bottom, build some of it, and start doing the top surface and work your way across. They could have done it, and I think it would have been a better experience, as opposed to building it like this and then having the nightmare of trying to attach the top to the bottom, because it was brutal. There's a lot of space in there. You could actually make it a good hideaway place for money or whatever, if you could ever get into it. As you can see, other than these 2x2s, the 4x4s that make up, there's probably like 200 or 300 of them on the top surface in black. Good luck getting them off. You can pull up the 2x2 plates, tiles, and like that's only going to get you so far. I'm not even seeing a good entry point. You might almost be better to go after the grays, figure out where you can pop up one or two, and work from the inside out. It's still going to be a nightmare to tear apart. So, I've told you the good and the bad. So the quality of the parts is good. I don't like the fact that these tiles are not tapered, with a nice beveled edge to make it easy for a brick separator to pop them off. So I don't know how you're going to do that. The quality of the bricks was good, though. I just didn't like that particular brick. Clearly, that's not a one-to-one copy of a Lego mold. That's their interpretation, or it's the old style of Lego. I can't remember which. But anyway, that's going to be a problem for you. The quality of the bricks was good. Clutch was good. I didn't have a real issue with clutch doing the table. Where clutch was a problem was building some of the pieces. So here you have a one stud connection going into, so a stud here going into a Technic hole on a brick. It goes in, and it's not bad. And I can shake it, and like this one's not too bad. I did cheat on some pieces. I would use a thin piece, clear cellophane or tape, Scotch tape, put it in there, act as something to fill the hole a little better. And it definitely helps. With other pieces like this one, which I guess would be the king for the Rebels, again, very heavy top, very heavy bottom, one stud, one hole. And as you can see with a tapered Technic hole, you have very little contact. So when the stud comes out, you're only having half the height of the stud actually making contact. It's not great. It just isn't great. So something to keep in mind. Great display piece. Hard to play with, hard to move. Some other on the Rebel side, the builds were awesome and no real issues other than the bottoms for these are B-wings. So like I said, one stud connection, but as long as you handle them gently, they're fine. On the Imperial side, that is where things get a little bit more painful. I'll rotate this around. I got a feeling a chess fan is going to complain about where I orientated the pieces in relation to the castle piece for the white side, and if it's on the white or black. Honestly, don't care. Not that big a chess fan. Again, okay, so back to the Imperials. So TIE Fighter, I mean, by the way, I love all these little micro builds. They're amazing. But they are brutal because it's all one stud connections and you're constantly finicking trying to keep them all straight. Like even if I built it square on the table, and by the way, that's always going to happen because it's just one stud connections going into that rounded cone. And you can see it's almost impossible to keep it square. But if there we go. Now look at this. See, I lost the same piece again. This is where I would almost want to take, maybe 4x4 plate, just stick it on the bottom so I have less grief with that. But you look at the connection, like this is kind of a neat way of doing it. You've got a rod going all the way through to the top piece, but it's really only one stud connecting the two foils on the TIE Fighter, the two wings. And it's just brutal trying to keep them all aligned. Like you can put it on your table, have it aligned, put it on here, and it won't be aligned. They just constantly move out. And of course, every time you pick it up, it's going to shift and move. You get TIE Fighters, you got TIE Interceptors, Vader's TIE, the TIE Bombers there. We got AT-ATs, we got Boba Fett's Slave One, Jango Fett's Slave One. We got ATST Walkers. We got a Death Star Destroyer. We got a Shuttle Tidarium. And I'll put these all on the spinners for you shortly. But there's definitely some finicky stuff with those X-Wings and TIE Fighters. Let's put that over there for now. I don't know if that'll stay up. Probably not. That's okay. So let's see if I can introduce. We're going to take that one off. Let's take that away. And I want to we got some Rebel cruisers here. And give me a moment. We'll see what we can do. That should be a little better. So yeah, we get the cruisers here, 2 color variants. Now, based on the manual and the box art and the instructions, I don't have anything that's going to act as a good pointer, do I would really like something that would be a good pointer. We'll just right here. So that red piece there, that's a swap in that they provided. From what I can tell from the box art and everything else, that should be a closer match to everything else that you see that's red or reddish brown. So, I mean, it's a little thing, but it doesn't look right. It stands out too much that way. I mean, they got the blue consistent, but not the red piece. Those would be your castles. I guess you would also say your rooks. Some more cruisers. This is not the Hammerhead. I can't remember the name of it. Star Wars fans are going to chew me up for this, but that's okay. Very nicely done, though. You're just basically seeing the head of the ship and then a nice structure that kind of gives you an idea of what it kind of looks like. You're not going to be able to build out the ship front to back and have the pieces look right. So, I mean, they did the best they could here, right? So we've got some Rebel B-Wings here. I like the color variants a little bit. This is kind of nice. Again, you're going to have to, keep your head wrapped around what these are. I'm going to work on the Falcon here. Oh, that's horrible. Let's see. I'm using the box art literally here. I don't want this part of the stream to take too long. And I'm going to give you what they call the Queen. So there's the Falcon, which is a really nice build. But it's the one stud connections that'll kill you. Right here. Sorry. These 2 ingots, they just move around like crazy. You can see that. It's just good luck. And the clutch on those is just not great. I thought about swapping out with actual Lego, and you can see just how misaligned that gets. That's too bad because it's actually a really nice build. Like, it's really cool. But every time I've moved that piece, those ingots fall off. This one I'm pretty sure is the Nebulon frigate. There we go. A little bit better. Very nice build. Again, the big issue with this, one stud connection. That one stud's got to go into a Technic hole, and only half the stud actually makes contact, you know, given the limits of the Technic hole. It's a nice build. Incorporates many features of the ship that's recognizable. Again, you're getting a very crushed version. This is something I think you guys are going to like. I'll even turn one backwards so you get. So you get 3 X-Wings. I would have been happy if they were all X-Wings. Having the pawns be a bunch of different things, I get it. More ships is better for most people. I would have loved it to be, you know, or even just 2 types. Because I got, there's 4 types of ships here for the Rebels. But we've got red 5, and then we got a blue one like Poe Dameron's. Actually, these 2 over here would both be, I guess, variants on Poe Dameron's X-Wings. And then you got the red 5 here. So I'm just going to pull this off. I don't really care which ones they go back onto. And then we've got snow speeders. And I'll put them in that configuration just so you can also see the butt end. Actually, here. Orange one, more typical of what appears in Empire Strikes Back. And one with the red markings, not so much. I'm pretty sure this is, I want to say the A-Wing. Sand green and a red one. Very nice builds. In my opinion, some of the better builds in this set. All right, let's take a look at one of my favorites for the Imperials, the AT-ATs. So very recognizable AT-AT head, and they, for the pillar that it's on, they basically build it onto what's clearly a foot or a leg from the knee joint down. So I thought that was a neat compromise to try and fit an AT-AT in there. I have seen small AT-ATs that would fit in the 8x8 grid, but, you know, they did a good job of this. This is probably going to be everyone's favorites here. So you got Boba Fett's and Jango Fett's Slave One ship. And I'm not calling it whatever it is Disney wants us to call it now. These are very nice builds, very solid. The pieces are great. No issues with the build. And I know some people actually wanted the instructions so they could build this on their own. I might pass that along. ATST, I want to say these are the bishop pieces because they surround the king and queen. Is that correct? Nice little builds. One of the few times you'll see Technic in this at all, but it works for what you're doing. This is probably one of the closest things to actually being accurate. If you look at the scale and everything, like it's not bad. The legs to the head, like they did a really nice job. I really like these. And technically, Can we turn this at all? Technically, you could turn the headpiece if you really wanted to. I don't see a reason to do it, but you could. I'm going to give you what I am assuming is the queen piece for the Imperials, which is weird because that would be the Emperor's shuttle, the Tidarium. Hello, Crayonland. How you doing, Rosalind? Okay, that's one of the bigger pieces again, so let's bring it up to there. Really nice, very solid. This one feels like a weapon. Very nice build. I'm really surprised they went all brick built when they probably could have cheaped out and just used some plates or tiles. But that's a very significant piece. Heaviest, pretty much the heaviest. And then probably the second heaviest. And this one I like a lot. You get basically the rear and the bridge for the Star Destroyer. And you can see the little kind of radar balls on the top, here and here. They're just using the joystick bases, which I thought was pretty cool. Nice little build. Got some Technic wheel pieces here. Very, very solid. But that's an overview of all the pieces you get to build. Let me remove this one. I think we can remove that now. Because this has already gone on almost 47 minutes. Still shorter than one of my review videos I did on this. One was 12 minutes. But, so you've heard me whine and complain a lot. But a lot of it was about the user experience and not about the build. And I don't want anyone to get me wrong. I still enjoyed the build. I still like it. I still intend to pick up products from this company. But I'm probably going to find my own way of acquiring them and purchase it myself where I can get more satisfaction and get a better result. Because if I'm getting a retail box, I want it to look like a retail box. I don't want it to look like it's been in the trash. I don't want to see a big beautiful box like this show up repacked in a DHL box that's 70% of the size. I don't want that experience again. So I am hoping that my representatives at Juhang who will see this, they take my words. They already know what I think anyway. There's been already discussions. So I just hope that they can make everyone else's experience better. If they intend to fold and crush everything, let us know ahead of time and maybe not even waste the time sending that box. Because sending a retail box that's mangled does nobody any good. In fact, it increased the weight of the box that they did ship. So I do want to recommend the build. Is it worth what it's retailing for? I want to say it's retailing for 140 to 160 Canadian. So your mileage may vary, and what you feel about it is going to be based on the experience that you get at retail and on what you're going to pay. And that's going to change depending on who you buy it from, what country you're in, and what shipping methods it's going to come to you. I hope everyone has a better experience than me. This has been my honest review. I hope that it holds some value for you guys. And I look forward to doing more reviews of Juhang products and other products in the future. And I hope you enjoy listening to me rant and banter and carry on. So this is Richard for All Bricks Count. This has been my live review of Juhang 671 International Chess Confrontation in the Universe. Star Wars. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, everyone. Rosalind with Crayon Land Bricks, Brick Maniac, Mama Lego, everyone else, JB Awesome in the chat. Thanks for hanging and keeping us all company. And catch you later today. We'll build something. Peace.